Hello, ladies in Playful Heart Sisterhood. I am so glad you are here for our conversation with Pleasure Coach Vireo. I just love that, Pleasure Coach Vireo. I love how that sounds. And I just want to introduce you all to Vireo and let you know who she is and why she is here today. Vireo is a mother of 2 adult sons and a grandmother. She is a relationship and pleasure coach. She also has a master's in education and 15 years of teaching experience. She is known as Pleasure Coach Vireo, an expert in sacred femininity and sexuality. Vireo has been empowering women to feel confident in their female bodies since 2008. Her clients call her the shame buster. And she is also a licensed belief repatterning practitioner and a sacred sexuality coach who has been supporting and empowering women for well over a decade. She specializes in shame busting around taboo subjects like sex, grief, and suicide. In March 2020, her chapter, Transforming That Shame, was published in compilation From Shadows to Light, a whole human approach to mental health. And so I just want to welcome you here into the Playful Heart Sisterhood. And I just feel really privileged to have this time with you, Vireo. I have found already the things that I have learned from you. I feel more relaxed. I feel more confident. I feel I feel good about my body, just the way it is right now. And I think that's amazing because at least even for me, I know in my own experience, I tend to look in that mirror and find what's wrong. And so to have this shift and knowing tools to take me from what is wrong to what is beautiful and what is pleasurable is an exciting journey. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
That makes my heart sing. Thank you. And I'm really, I do want to add that I'm super excited to be here with your sisterhood as well. Wendy, I love the work that you're doing. So many women on the planet need your work as well. And especially during these times, the last couple of years, right? So I'm grateful that we're able to gather and that you have women that you're supporting on the planet as well. So thank you.
Thank you. So the first question that I'm really curious about is like, what inspired you to become a pleasure coach and teach, what's kind of considered, people kind of go, oh, that taboo subject of sexuality. And yet it's very much a part of our lives, but one that we don't always want to talk about.
Yeah, you and I were talking just before this. And I was actually moved to tears because, and that's why I do this work. I was saying to Wendy, to you, that I'm really more of an introvert. I live in a cabin in northern Alberta on the lake. And really my smaller ego self would rather just, do my own things and be fine with that. However, the first several decades of my life, I was so disconnected from my body. I was so disconnected from pleasure. I was a people-pleasing good girl I was so good at being the good wife, being the good daughter, being the good mother, that I completely lost myself. And I ended up very depressed, and it was pleasure and a few other superpower tools that eventually helped me find my way to home to Vireo. And I realized that I can't afford to put pleasure on the shelf. I can't afford to disconnect from this body. It's going to make me cry, but it's like I've witnessed what happened was when I found my way home to myself and to this body, I realized I could not afford to ever put myself and my body and my pleasure on the shelf anymore, because it costs me a lot. And I've been blessed to, when I came back from working in Thailand and learning things as a woman, I'm 59 years young. I look and feel younger than I did at 40. And when I came back, women started saying to me, like, my friends, like, I want what you have. Like, oh my goddess, like, what the hell? They didn't say hell, but the other word. They said the other word, WTF, like, what did you do? Right. And so I was so much more alive and vital and like in the moment and present to the juiciness of my life. I wasn't missing out on my life anymore. And so women started saying, we want what you have, like, bring it to us. And so I felt this, even before they said that, when I left Thailand, I felt this responsibility to share with women what I knew, even though I had so much shame coming up around sharing it with women because it is such a taboo subject. So thankfully, I found another superpower tool that helped me to clear the mindset so I could not give a flying fuck, excuse me, about what people thought, because I care more about them having access to this than I care what they think of me.
Yeah.
So I'm here because I so fucking care that you all have access to this power, this pleasure of being connected to source, to everything, to all that is, because then you can really live your life and not be part of the living dead like I was. I don't want women just going through the motions of life. And I'm even more passionate now because it's going to make me cry again, but I have a friend in the psych ward. I have, a mom who's so disconnected from her body, she's having the third round of cancer. I have people I care about who have lost themselves because of the craziness on the planet right now. So we need to be anchored so much in our pleasure. We need to be anchored in who we are so that we can navigate this craziness on the planet right now and not lose ourselves. And in some ways, the craziness on the planet right now actually caused me to anchor even more into what I'm doing and shout it out from the rooftops because people need it. So that was way more than I was going to say, but here it is.
No, and I love that because I feel you just speaking directly from your heart. And I feel you're actually bringing tears to my own eyes because I've been there. I've been one of those women, so disconnected from everything, and it gets really hard because you feel like you're the only person. You feel like you're the only one that's going through this because you don't, I know, and I'm just going to speak from it's like, because I don't want to talk about it because it's like, wow, is something wrong with me? One thing I heard you mention recently, and ladies, she's going to talk about this in a little bit, but I've been part of Vireo. Vireo right now has a 5-day free challenge around pleasure and intimacy. It is fantastic. And you haven't missed out because she still has 2 more days. So, but one of the things that you talked about in there and is how when we get busy, and especially with the women in this group, we're also busy. Oh, I'm just so busy. I would have gone for a walk, but I was too busy. I would have, sat down and, read a book, but I'm too busy. And so how does that busyness and what you do, how does that impact us?
Oh yeah. And I was that woman too. I was working so hard 5 years ago that I did have a complete mental, emotional, nervous breakdown. I was too busy. My routine in the morning was to hit the snooze alarm and over and over, and then leap out of bed and go to this soul sucking day job that I'd gone to because I had no internet and no phone where I lived, and I had to do a plan C. Well, I think, a couple of things. One is there's kind of two perspectives of this. One is you just got to start. You got to start because the cost of not starting is probably divorce. If you're in a relationship, I'm going to tell you that's the cost, which is really expensive. And if you're a mom, I'm still cleaning up the mess, okay, from that first divorce with my children, who are now adult sons. So the cost is really high when we don't show up as ourselves. So I want you to kind of think big picture. Like, if I continue in this, what is the end result? The end result is perhaps divorce, perhaps health problems, perhaps nervous breakdown, perhaps all of those things, and just misery. Like, it's, not wanting to get up and be part of our own life. Like, we're just going through the motions. And then the second piece is that when you actually, and I'm going to speak for my own morning this morning, like I've had, I'm running my business, doing these things. And I also have, a mom who's been in and out of the hospital, dealing with cancer number 3. I've got a friend with her mom in palliative care nearby. I've got a friend in the psych ward. I've got my own stuff with my own sons. And I could just get up and be running all day. Like, I could just run because there's so much to do. And what I did this morning was I actually shut everything off and I filled myself up first. And when we can fill ourselves up first, even if you just actually start with 30 seconds, you will notice a difference from that 30 seconds. This is the practice that I teach on day 1, which is, the recording is still available for you. That one little practice, you will start to actually have more connection to your body. You'll have more life force energy. And then your body will go, I would like some more of that, please. So if you actually fill yourself up first, right? I mean, we all know, you go on the airplane and they tell you, in case of an emergency,
Right.
if a mask comes down, put it on yourself first. I mean, we know that, and yet we don't do it. So part of the problem why we don't do it is I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to be like uncensored here. We have these beliefs as women, and I carried that belief. We have these beliefs that we don't deserve it. We need to be selfish because we're being selfish if we put ourselves first. We're supposed to give to everybody else, and we will be celebrated. Yes, we actually get celebrated when we're martyrs. When we bake the cookies, we stay up late, we don't sleep, we're on all the committees, we do everything. But for what? For what? And so I would say that when people now, and people do call me selfish, by the way, and now I actually say thank you to them. Thank you. And they're like, that wasn't a compliment, Vireo. And I'm like, well, I actually take it at one, because it now tells me that I have evidence that I'm finally putting Vireo first. I'm finally putting my connection with source, my prayer, my meditation. I'm filling my cup up. I mean, if you look at people in the world who are the most philanthropic, and really like learn and study them, Brené Brown, I'm sure you all probably know Brené Brown. Brené Brown studied the most philanthropic, compassionate people on the planet, including Mother Teresa. Guess what? Those people spend a lot of time filling themselves up, nourishing themselves with prayer, meditation, pleasure, exercise, the things they do, all these things, mind, body, and soul, so that then they can give from their overflow. Yeah. You cannot be a compassionate, philanthropic, fulfilled woman if you don't fill your cup first. And eventually you will get the cosmic sledgehammer, either cancer, mental breakdown, divorce, or perhaps all of those. And I've been witnessing it with the women who come to me. Don't come to me till it's too late. Go and find somebody to work with you so that you can transform some of those beliefs that you're carrying, that it's selfish, that it's you're undeserving of it. Is, who do you think you are to spend 2 hours in the morning, or even 3 minutes, doing your own thing, filling yourself up, telling the kids, you know what, make your own breakfast. I'm going to go and do my meditation or my movement or my pleasure practice. And I'll tell you that one last thing, I'm just kind of on a roll, but
no, go ahead.
Before I had that breakdown 5 years ago, there was a time, I sometimes we have to go down again and then remember why we do all the things that fill ourselves up. But I do remember my older son, when I had my second child, I had what was called pubis symphysis separation syndrome. Basically, it means my female genitals were really swollen and extremely painful. And he dropped into the birth canal at 3 months, and I was in excruciating pain, a pain I've never experienced in my life. Now, the options for me were not to medicate myself at just over 3 months pregnant, because that meant my child was going to be really medicated. So I actually learned transcendental meditation. I have been meditating, not always. I do a lot of other practices too now. But what happened was I started to meditate every morning, and I told my then 3-year-old that in the morning, mommy is not available until I've done my meditation. If you want to come in the bedroom, you may come in silently and come on my lap. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to disturb me. And, he would come in and he would crawl really slowly. He would wrap his body around my belly. And I swear to this day, that child knows how to meditate, because he meditated with me probably for 6 months. And then when I gave birth to his brother, I would still continue meditating in the morning. I actually had to meditate about 6 to 12 times a day to move through the pain. And what happened was I got myself so connected to source, so connected to my body, so connected to all that is, that I actually wasn't in pain, wasn't in contraction. And so the thread of this story is, then there was some moments where my younger son would look at me and say, Mom, have you meditated this morning? Because I was just off. And he's like, you should go meditate. So I would go back up and I would do my practice. So if you actually fill yourself up first and do the things for your mind, body, and soul that fill you up, I promise you, your family, your people, your friends may not love you right away, but in the end, you are actually doing them the biggest service. You are also giving them permission to fill themselves up. And I promise that if you are focused on your highest self and you learn the word no, it's a complete sentence, that you will actually be serving them, and it will be for their highest. When it's for your highest, it's always for their highest. And so I learned that a few the hard way a few times, to realize, wow, when I've said lots of no's to people over the last 2 years. I'm like, no, I can't do that. No, actually, no, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then when I serve, I'm able to serve from this overflow, because I'm so connected to source, so connected to my real capital self.
Yes. Oh, I hear that. And I'm so thankful that you are talking about it, really, serving from the overflow, and all about that. No is a complete sentence, and it's only N and an O. And yet it is so challenging to say it for all the people pleasers out there.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I'm going to tell you, I didn't do that easily. I went and got help because I
yes.
was the best people pleaser out there. So get some help from a mindset coach like myself or somebody else to transform that belief, because it's not worth carrying anymore.
No, no. And that's one thing is, and kind of going back to like the work that you do you have just like even, one tip that you would like to share with us today with this group that can help us towards our pleasure and intimacy in our lives? What would be one tip?
Yeah, I think the one tip, and I can kind of give it as 2 tips. The one tip would be, get up a little bit earlier in the morning, and that might require you to go to bed a little bit earlier. Most of us are running on adrenaline, which is really destructive to our bodies, especially to our kidney, our liver, and all our vital organs. Go to bed a little bit earlier. Even if you got up 5 minutes earlier, if you could do more, awesome. And do what I taught on the first day was just a shaking practice. So get up and shake your body, shake your whole body. Make some noise, tap your feet, shake your whole body for 30 seconds. If you can do it for 3 minutes, my teachers do it for 15 minutes a day. My David Pramel and Miten, one of my many teachers. So we're just going to do that right now. So we're just going to shake. We're going to shake. We're going to do it for like a whole minute here. Make some noise. Breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth.
I got my legs going too.
You can even do this sitting, but standing is way better. We're going to do, Wendy and I are doing it sitting.
Sitting.
All right, take a breath. Now I just want you to notice what you feel in your body from that. I think it was maybe a minute. What do you notice, Wendy?
I notice tingling, but it's like energetic. Like I just feel like my whole body like became awake. I mean, this is like the best thing because I just drove for 4.5 hours before this, our conversation today. And so I actually feel alive. I feel more alert. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So move your body in the morning, move your body in between activities, move your body after you sit in the car, move your body, get off the couch, shut the TV off, go move your body,
Yes.
move your body, move your body, move your body. Start to connect with your body. Start to ask your body what it wants. My morning is all about my body and my soul and my heart, but my body first, right? That's not actually my spirit says, no, you connect with your soul first. I connect with the soul. Then when I get out of bed, it's all about my body. I do practices. And so when we can do that, yeah, we're going to have more vitality, more energy, minimum 30 seconds. I had one woman who said she had no time. She started to do it for 30 seconds every day. Now, she also had the accountability and support, right? Most of us need some accountability and support and sisterhood. So she had accountability, support, sisterhood, and my coaching. And she started to increase that 30 seconds. So if you can do it for 3 minutes, you don't need music, but music is way more fun. You could put on and have a playlist, have a bit of music that, inspires you. You don't need music though. You can do it anywhere, anytime. I would encourage you to do it throughout the day. That's one of the things on day one that you'll want to actually understand why we do that. Why did it give us so much energy? Why did that shift? So, but that's waiting for you on day one, which the recording is still there. So I'm going to leave it as a surprise.
Yes. And so with that, that's such a perfect segue, Vireo. I would love for you to share the upcoming offerings that you have and, what people, will get out of it and where it's at, where they can find these things.
Awesome. So right now we have 5 secrets to reignite your intimate desires. Get your libido going again, get your energy, your vitality, get your life back. That's happening right now. We had day 1 was really about moving your body, and you'll find out even more richness about that. That's going to get your brain to get that. Let me remember what day 2. What was day 2? I remember last night.
Day 2 was about pleasure, and that pleasure is medicine.
Yeah. So day 2, we really dove into sexual reflexology. You are going to learn things that I did not know as a 55-year-old woman. I learned this at 55, things I didn't even know. I didn't know about my body. You're going to learn things about how pleasure is actually connected to the vitality of your vital organs. Yes. And how to have longevity. So we're not just living longer, but we're actually vital and energized and healthy. So that's on day 2. Day 3, you are going to, that's like tonight. No, tonight is day 4. Last night. Last night was learning how to raise yourself to this level of love. We actually learned breast massage. So you're going to reduce the risk of cancer. There's a whole bunch more on there. Tonight is going to be, I was just working on that recently. Let's see if I get my brain is so last night was you're going to reduce cortisol and adrenaline, and you're going to find ways to increase the oxytocin, endorphins, and dopamine. Tonight, you are going to uncover some of those beliefs that are stopping you. You're going to understand how the brain works so you can be more an ally with yourself and your mind rather than fighting with your mind. And then tomorrow, one of you is going to have the pleasure of me walking you through my superpower tool of mindset coaching with believer patterning. So we're going to transform some shame. We're going to do some shame busting tomorrow night. One of you is going to get like one-on-one coaching. All of you are going to get group coaching because that's what I do. I work with groups of women. And we're going to do some shame busting so you can dissolve some of that shame around your sexuality and start to own it as healthy, natural, and sacred. I also have a copy of my book that is coming to somebody who participates in the event, and so that's happening right now. I'm super excited about that, and I promise you, it will change your life. It will help you get your life back in such a whole way. I know that because that's what the women tell me. So I had one of the women who came has been experiencing chronic pain, and she had also a private one-on-one pleasure breakthrough session with me. That session, and coming to 2 of the nights, she has already started to have more pleasure and more lightness and more hope, and her dreams reignited in her life because we helped her connect to her body and to pleasure. And she's literally been dealing with chronic pain for years.
Love that. Love, 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 love it. Thank you so much, Vireo. And what I'm going to do is, everyone, all of these, the link to Vireo's The 5 Secrets to Reignite Your Intimate Desire, it's going to be right here in the Facebook group. Click on it and register for it. It's completely free and it's fantastic. She has such good information. So, and then also, I'm going to put the link also to her Facebook group, the Sacred Pleasure Path Sisterhood, where that training will be happening. And is there anything else that you would like to add, Vireo?
Well, just the other thing is, when you join Sacred Pleasure Path Sisterhood, make sure you answer the 3 questions and agree to the group rules. That's what keeps our group safe and sacred, especially because we're talking about such a taboo subject. You'll have a chance to watch day 1, day 2, and day 3 video, which I would highly recommend you grab those. I was really on fire yesterday and the day before. It was like, all right, I don't care what people think anymore. Not that I really did before, but I just took it to another level because I just see how so many women are suffering right now. And I'm on a mission to have more women who are turned on and fulfilled. Just do whatever you can to show up and gift yourself that. And some of you might say, I don't have time to do this. And I'm really going to say, you don't have time not to. You can't actually afford not to put yourself last. I promise you, it is going to ripple out and change the life of all the people in your life that you know. So gift it to yourself so you don't have to go through some of the suffering that I did and some of the, the people that I know in my life right now. So you deserve it. Do whatever you can to change your schedule and be there, because I promise you, you're going to be filled up from the time, even if you don't work with me beyond that, just from what you receive from showing up at that, I promise you, you'll be served. I highly recommend you join us live on Zoom. That's going to be your best bang for your buck, and it was free. I will actually be charging for this in the future. So this is the last time that it will be for free. So it's simply the gift of your time, and you can come and win some prizes. You could still win a copy of the book. You can still win this intention one, and I've got some other fun things as well. So come and play, come and fill yourself up. You deserve it, and it will also divorce-proof your marriage if you happen to be married.
Yay. Thank you so much, Vireo. And I'm looking forward. I will be on the Zoom with Vireo, barring no more technical opportunities, at 5:30 p.m. tonight. So I hope some of you come and join me over there. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us all in the Playful Heart Sisterhood community, and appreciate and love the work that you're doing and the transformations that you are creating in this world. Thank you.
My pleasure. And thanks for being a brave woman to be willing to have this conversation.
Oh, hey, they're needed. All right. See you all. Thank you for listening.
Blessings.
Oh,